Hello, I'm Scott Brown with Green Wind and Other Home Energies. Well, I did these. It took pretty much all night. Basically down here, all I had to do to these was re-tap and re-thread on the hub, and this all thread fits in there wonderfully. So that's going to help keep it stabilized and straight. I know everybody's anxious to get the magnet rotors cast, but there's still more work we need to do before, even though we've got the magnet template already made. It's not time to cast the magnets yet. This bearing needs to be cleaned out and re-greased and set back in and inspected. I might have to get new bearing. I'll show you how to do that. But first off, I've got all of these lined up straight. They're inside and going through the hub. Alright, one other thing that we did, where I had the little groove notched in, I had to transfer that all the way over to the other rotor. So I put them through the hub just to make sure, and now I know this is perfect and setting where it needs to be. Hello, I'm Scott Brown with Green Wind and Other Home Energies. Yeah, we're starting off all new footage, and we're going to do this the way I really want to. Alright, here we got a hub, and the spindle, and the bearings, and everything here, and here's the rest of this setup. We were at first going to use this one. Now this one here came off the front end, and this is where the CV axle came in. It's got a pressed-in bearing, plus it has the ABS, which would have allowed me to figure out RPM while it was up there. But boy, gee, it spins okay. I mean, if you had a tire on it, that's a lot of resistance. I don't like that. I don't like these kind of bearings that just get pressed in. They're always got a lot of drag. Not very good, but we will use this for something later on. It's the same lug pattern as this one. I like these because the bearings are very adjustable. Now watch closely right here. If you watch that nut in the middle, you notice that nut moves. That's what allows us to adjust this bearing, but still, this one drags big time. Well, there's a lot of junk in here. There's a bearing cap that goes on here that's supposed to keep all this stuff out. Well, it's old. It's free. Cluggy619 gave this to me one day, and I was very happy to see it. Well, anyway, we're going to go ahead and take care of all of this. We're going to need a pair of pliers, a pair of diagonal cutting pliers, and the needle nose for getting this out. Also, we're going to need some bearing grease. I got the marine grease. It's resistant to water. A little bit of solvent. Of course, brake parts cleaner, and you will need something for your hands afterward. And a nice rag. First of all, we want to get this, and we want to kind of straighten that out to the best of our ability, because it makes it very easy to get out. The diagonal cutting pliers is if you couldn't get that out. If you have a problem getting them out, you can take that and then smack it out, and usually get them out pretty easy. This one came out nice and easy. Everything in here is just greasy as can be, but it's dirty. That's why it won't spin. Let's get this off. Yeah, that's pretty easy. I think I'm just going to go ahead and use my fingers. This thing should spin as easy as a bicycle wheel. Look at that. I've got a lot of dirt keeping it from turning and coming out. Yeah. The greasiest part of your rag. Set her down. This is a king nut. Okay? This is a cotter key or cotter pin. Alright, the next thing is you want to press that out. Sometimes you'll have to pound on. Might even need new bearings. Anyway, the needle nose pliers help take this bearing out. Ew, nasty. Lots of fun. Get this to come out the rest of the way. Well, we got a problem. Looks like we got a seal that's broke back here. The other thing you're going to need is the seal. This is a 1.719 grease seal for 3,500 pounds trailer axle. That's basically what this is. Alright. Get this. That's the rubber seal. There we go. I bet this ought to come out now. Might have to pound down. Looks like, oh, there we go. Now that we got that, pull the rest of this off. That's trash. This is the seal. Usually you're going to need the screwdriver for that. Alright, we remember this other seal has to go in. So the main thing is you don't want to scratch this side up. Aim it at an angle. Pound a hole through it. This way this is not aimed at the side. And pry that bad boy up. She'll come right out. You have to, right next to it, pound another one. You get it to come up. Get a screwdriver that you really don't care too much about. It should come out now. Almost there. There's your seal. Look at that nasty stuff. Yeah. That's got a lot of dirt. Dirt acts like sandpaper. It really doesn't do good. It's time to get new bearings. See if we can get this out now. There we go. Looks like somebody dropped it in the mud. All this has to get scraped out, cleaned out, and then hit with some solvent. These bearings need to be cleaned. Inspect these sides to see what they look like, and then we're going to grease them and put it back together. Then we'll get on to the casting. Okay, right here I've got a little bit of diesel fuel. It's old. Might as well use it as a solvent. Stick that right in there. Same thing with this. Stick that in there. Stick the king nut in there. And the cotta key, slosh her around. We're going to dissolve as much as we can off of that. Matter of fact, I'm going to stick the spindle right down in here too. Well, I was going to say, make sure you wear gloves. But if you wear gloves, get the ones down at the auto parts store instead of visiting somebody at the hospital first. These didn't hold up to the... Boy, look at that. Whee! Lots of fun. Okay, here's the results. This one here, let's watch. There's one of the rollers, just fell out. This thing is rusty. It doesn't even want to roll, actually. This one here rolls. It's really not all that bad as far as being able to move, but if you could see this race inside here, sure does move around quite a bit. And that race right there, which is very rusted and pitted, has to come out. So I'm just going to get 2 new sets of bearings. Should cost me pretty close to about $30. Well, you see right here is a race inside here, and that thing's all eat up. Well, that's okay. We got one of them. And then there's the bearing that goes inside that. Faces down just like this. We got one of them. And we got a race and bearing for the other side, right here and here. Well, this race has to get pounded out. This race right here has to get pounded out. So once those are out, the whole surfaces are just like new and everything slides back on. Oh yeah, one more thing I got. A whole package of brand new cotta keys because they just don't sell them by themselves. I spent $25 and some odd change and got all of that. Okay, the first step for taking these races out is you want to soak these races with some penetrating oil. And then we reach down inside. There's a little lip down there that you can hit with a brass rod. Tap that bearing, get it moving, tap it on all sides evenly till it comes out, and then you flip it over and do this one. I can't give you the view that I got, but I can give you a view. This is a piece of rebar. I stick it from one side of the hole to the other, right on top of that lip. Tap around on the other side. There we go. Sounds different. I heard it hit the desk. It looks like it moved. Yep, sure did. It's almost off. As a matter of fact, it's protruding out. Well, I think if I stick it sideways, tap out the rest. Sounds like that moved. Stick the other one, same way. Yep. Don't need to. There it is. That's the old race. Pop the other one in. Don't have a socket readily handy to start this. You can usually use a piece of wood. Tap it on the high side. Try to get it to go in even. Let's see. This is the high side here. Well, it's all even now, except right there. High. Alright, it's even with the top now. We got to go down. Where is it? Yep. Alright, that's down far enough to there. I don't want this to get to where it gets tight. Anyway, now you take a piece of hardwood and you knock it down the rest of the way. I got a 1/4 inch to go. Well, don't have the hardwood. Be easy on the sides, light taps. I'm going straight down. Make sure you strike it straight up and down. The old race and put it on a grinder. Grind the diameter up down. Use the fat end. Try this down. Are we there yet? Sure, I do believe we are. This is now set. Okay. We'll do the same thing to the other side. Knock that one out. I'll do that off camera. Well, there we go. We got it started. I got about a 1/4 inch to go. I'm using the brass rod. That way I'm not taking chances of hurting the bearing. Large socket would be sweet. Yeah, it's all the way down. So I was pounding on it there for a little while, expecting more trouble out of it. Next thing I really want to do is just jet every bit of any extra metal all the way on out of there. There we go. And we'll jet this side as well. That looks pretty clean. Alright, we're ready to pack these bearings. Packing the bearings is easy. The only thing that's not desirable about packing these bearings, look at all that brass chips from that brass punch. There we go, get them out of here. Alright, the only thing that's hard about doing these is you just get dirty. So, that's what the hand cleaner's for. We got hand cleaner, and we got grease, and we got bearings. Set this out of the way for a bit. Alright, let's get this show on the road. Beautiful grease. There's some. Might as well get that off. Put it right on the edge of the palm of your hand. Get you a little more. Don't worry about getting your hands greasy. This ain't dirt. This is grease. Dirt bad, grease good. And you just keep on pushing it back down. You keep pashing down like this, and it pumps it up inside these bearings. Just keep going like that across your hand. Push out what you got back in the palm of your hand. Do it some more. Back out, but just go ahead and get greasy. Don't worry about it. Just keep going like this, trying to drag it up into a small spot, stick it down, scratch it out some more. But you do want to be able to tell if you got some grease coming out the top. Yep, there it goes. I see it screeching up right there. Let me pull some of this out of my hand here. Now you see when I go like this, if you look right there on that edge, you see it coming out. That's when you know your bearing is packed. You start doing that all the way around till you see it come out all over. You should have a clean paper towel or something sitting out, or a sheet of plastic that you can set the bearings on when you're done. That right there is good enough. Put it right on top of the hand cleaner. We're good. Next, oh yeah, the small one. This is how you pack a bearing. Same old thing. Just kind of come up a little bit more. Oop, I already see it coming up. Take a little bit of the grease each time. And there it is. Scrape all your grease back over there. Put it in your hand to play with. Pack just on the edge. Keep taking a little bit more each time. That's squirting out big time. You see a whole line right on that edge. And now you know how to pack bearings. And you know how to tap out races and put new ones in. Alright, well that one's good. I can clean it up later. A little on each of these. I say a little. Be generous. You don't want to pack your hole yet because that hole's where the spindle goes. Alright, there we go. Nice. You know what I didn't get? Same thing that caused this problem to begin with. They didn't have a grease cap on the end. I'll show you the redneck grease cap a little bit later. I know how that works and I know it fits perfect. Alright, here we go. This bearing has to be in here first. There we go. Now here's where you want to be careful. You don't want to damage this seal. Trying to get it started just by bumping with your hand till you see it get even. Thing is about the 2x4, not only is it soft like this end, but it's flat. That makes a lot of difference. There we go. Every time you hit it, check to make sure you're level and smooth. And now that's installed nice and flush. There we go. That should slide right on down nice. Then you take this one, leaving all that wonderful grease, as much as you can pack down in that hole. Get you some more. You want this to last for a long time. Lots of grease. Just pack that hole right up. Same thing as packing your bearings. This is going to make sure your bearings stay packed. Alright, well we didn't have... There's supposed to be a washer underneath this king nut or crown nut. So I spent about an hour. Notice these little pieces down here. That's part of the race. I clipped the bearing separator. Anyway, clip that. I want this way. There we go. Then when this goes on, well, there's supposed to be one. This one didn't come with one. But anyway, now we got it. Tighten this up all the way. Back it off a little bit. Stick your cotta key through. Then one of them wires up, and the other one you can leave straight. There we are, completely packed with grease, and she's set up. I thank you very much for watching. I'm Scott Brown with Green Wind and Other Home Energy. Oh yeah, I told you I was going to show you the new grease cap. Well, there we are. Redneck grease cap. Yes sir. It'll last for a long time. God bless. One magnet rotor. Kind of pretty, isn't it?